Hi there guys, my name is Taylor and I'm from HelpMeCompile.com and welcome to your 5th Java tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going over how to build a basic calculator using what we've learned so far in my videos. Now that is, in case you weren't there, scanners, if conditionals, and yeah, basically variables. We'll do some arithmetic on it and we'll be expanding on the if conditional. We'll learn how to do a few more advanced things with the if conditional. Okay, don't get scared though, it's super simple. Super easy and you'll learn a lot. Okay, the first step is to declare our scanner because we will take in 2 numbers from the user. So go ahead and import that, as you can see I've already done, and then we'll just type a scanner here. We'll name it scan. And then we'll type to the user, this is a this is a simple calculator. I'm a sucker for titles. Enter your first number, and now when they see that, they'll only have to click in the output window and then type a number and then hit enter, and then it'll save it under the scanner that we'll use here. Double number 1, and now we'll just declare that double right there, and then it'll get its value from, as I said, the scanner. Okay, so all I have to do is, let's run that real quick. Enter your first number, they'll type 1 and hit enter, and then it'll save it under the double number 1. Alright, now we'll just ask for that second number there, enter another number. And then we'll do the same thing and save it under number 2 and use the scanner just the same. Now we have to ask the user what kind of multiplication, or I'm sorry, what kind of math operator do we want to use? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So we'll give them in a number format. Please type 1 through 4. And then we'll do 1, addition, 2, subtraction, 3, multiplication. And now, in case you're wondering how I'm doing this real quick, right here, right before that quotation mark, just hit enter and it'll automatically do that plus sign and then the quotes. But what I am doing, as you'll notice, is I'm doing a /n. That just inserts a page break. In case you don't know what that means, it just means I hit enter on the line like you would on Notepad. If you hit enter, it just goes down one line. That's what the computer sees as /n. It's an enter, it goes down one line. Okay. And now, just as we did with double number 1 and double number 2, we're going to take that operator, that 1 through 4 that they decide to use, except this time we're going to save it under int, since it doesn't have a decimal point. Doubles have decimal points, ints do not. Okay, and now we need some if logic to decide whether or not 1, 2, 3, or 4 is equal to the operator. But let's say we want to shake things up a bit. Let's learn something new about the if conditional today. We're going to check to see if they divided, if they chose division and one of their numbers is a 0, because everyone knows if you divide by 0 it's a safety hazard. So let's go ahead and do that. If double parentheses number 1 is equal to 0, or this is a new operator sign that you might not have been aware of, number 2 equals 0. Now what I've typed here so far could look confusing if you haven't seen it before, but these are 2 operations that are separate. If number 1 is equal to 0, or if number 2 is equal to 0. So if either of these are true, if this is true, then it'll run to its next part of the code. It doesn't even check this. But if it's not, then it'll run to this part, and then it'll run to the next part of its code. And then, now the if statement's not done. If either of those are true, then it'll run to this part of its code here. And, oops, I'm doing this all wrong. And operator equals 4, then it'll run, don't divide by 0, it's not safe. Okay, now let's go over this one more time. You'll recall in the past that we've gone over the if statement, and it checks to see whether its parameters are true. If the parameters are true, it will run its first subset of code. If it's not, it immediately runs to its else. False code. So if it's running, if its parameters, which is this piece of code right here, turns out to be true, it runs the first subset. If it turns out to be false for whatever reason, it runs to its else statement. Now, every if statement doesn't have to have an else statement, but if it's false, it will check to see if there's an else statement and run that. So, what we've typed here is if number 1 is equal to 0, or number 2 is equal to 0, then check to see if the operator is equal to 4. If the operator is not equal to 4, and both of these are equal to 0, it won't print this. Let's do a test. Enter your first number. Well, it's going to be 0. Enter another number, 0. Now we'll do division. Don't divide by 0, dude. It's not safe. We'll try one more time. 1 and 0. Except this time, we won't choose division. We'll choose multiplication. And it didn't tell us that it wasn't a safe scenario. Fantastic. Okay. Now, on this else statement, we're actually going to include another if statement. This is a little bit more complex. This is called a nested if statement. If the operator is equal to 1, then they've chosen addition. So we're just going to do system.out.println. The answer is, and then we'll do a little parentheses, number 1 plus number 2. And then we'll do the same thing, but with the operator 2. System.out.println. The answer is plus number 1 minus number 2, since this one is subtraction. And then we'll do the exact same thing. We'll just do another else statement that's tied to an if. Operator. System.out.println. The answer is plus number 1, what was it, multiplication? Yeah, number 2. And then we'll do one more final divisory. I think I made that word up. I love making up words. Keep the creative juices flowing, you know? Don't stagnate. The answer is number 1 minus number 2, or divide rather. Okay, and then if it didn't run any of those, then it'll run to this final else statement, and it will say something went incorrect. Check your code. Okay, fantastic. Now see that massive complex part of code? You wrote that. And if you wrote this and you understand it, hey man, my hat's off to you. If you didn't, please leave a question in the comments. Your peers can be very helpful, and so can I. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.